Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sean Lazarus with the Finished Podcast. This is kind of I guess, kind of a rebranding kind of thing going on right now, and kind of changing some things up here. We're gonna be, I guess you could say, let me fix that. That's live TV, huh? I'm gonna be fixing, going over a few things and kind of rebranding everything, reformatting everything. Whereas I was kind of doing just some MMA stuff before, I decided to use Twitch as a platform with the Open Creator platform that they have for live talk shows and stuff like that. So I will be dual streaming on YouTube and Twitch for right now. Other platforms are to follow at some point. Just kind of getting my bearings straight with this. We'll be talking about, not necessarily today, but we'll be talking about on a somewhat regular basis things MMA, UFC, Bellator, stuff like that, pro wrestling, gaming, movies. So it's a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of sports. I know that's kind of, a lot of people kind of focus on one niche or another. I'm a jack of all trades kind of thing. I like a little bit of everything. I know there are people out there that like a little bit of everything too. Uh, you know, the whole thing that people who are into video games aren't really into sports. I don't think that's true. Especially now, I think there are plenty of people who are in the gaming and in the sports at the same time, whether you want to call wrestling a sport or not. And I just kind of want to do this for fun, and just see what happens. If it doesn't work out, hey, not a big deal. I want it to be interactive as well, which is why I'm also with streaming on Twitch and YouTube. Uh, want to be as interactive as possible with it, and live chat and everything. And I just think it's pretty neat. The the interface that Twitch and YouTube allows. So, with that said, let's I tell you what. Let's start off. I tell you what. Let's start off with. Let's start off with Raw 25th anniversary. Vince, what are you doing? Let's be honest. It sucked. Okay? And I'm the kind of person, I don't watch wrestling 24/7 like I used to back when I was a teenager. I watch I run through most of the pay-per-views and, the TV shows. I keep up with it, the websites, dirt sheets, whatever you want to call it. I watched the highlights of Raw 25th anniversary. The highlights were bad. I had to fast forward to the highlights. Typically, the highlights is the fast forward version already because it's only, bits and pieces of the best parts. Um, let, us go over, I guess, a couple things. When they announced Raw 25th anniversary, I thought it was so cool that it was going to be emanating from so cool that it was going to be emanating from the Manhattan Center. I wish they would have just, they did the dual venue with Manhattan Center and the Barclays Center. Okay, I wish they just would have done the Manhattan Center. I don't understand why they also had to do the Barclays Center. I don't know if it was a money grab. I don't know if they thought that it was gonna work out better than what it did. I don't know. I'm not 100% on that. I just know that this show was terrible, 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 terrible. I don't know, man. I just okay. So let's just go over some of the things that were terrible. So mind you, you have the 25th anniversary. You have all these legends coming back. You got Taker coming back, which I was a huge Undertaker fan, and Taker could have halfway decent promo. Now, I think a lot of people, myself included, we were under the impression that with Taker coming back at Raw 25th anniversary, that kind of set up some kind of match with John Cena, just starting to set up the angle a little bit. He what he talked about Mick Foley, Stone Cold, and Kane in particular. He could have said any group of names. He could have said Shawn Michaels. He could have said Triple H. Especially Shawn Michaels. He retired the guy. It's time for them to. They met the Reaper. And they rested in peace. But I don't understand really where it was going. Now it turns out maybe it could be going somewhere. I don't know. I don't get it. I think they missed a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. They should have used his one appearance hell of a lot better than that. I mean, because what was he on the stick for? 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. I don't know. I really didn't time it, but I just don't feel like they really capitalized on it like they could have and like they should have. The whole DX thing, completely, you know, predictable. I thought it was cool. They did Scott Hall came out and they did the Too Sweet thing, and then they had the Finn Balor Club, whatever they're calling it now, had them do the Too Sweet thing, and that was cool. I give them that. I thought the APA poker game thing was, you know, it was kind of funny. It was what it was. It served its purpose. But again, I just feel like a lot of that stuff was a waste of names. I really do. I think that what I would have done, of course, it's easier for me to say, in retrospect after how it turned out. One venue, okay, I would have put a little more of a focus on the earlier years of Raw. I understand because it's 25th anniversary, they have to encompass the last 25 years. I get that. But let's be honest, I think the majority of fans, at least half, maybe I won't say majority, I think at least half of the fans were expecting to see more more of the old legends and less of the newer guys. Maybe with some newer guy stuff thrown in there, like the DX thing with Scott Hall coming out and Finn Balor coming out and the Too Sweet thing. That was cool, right? Because it was a clash of eras, so I felt like that was appropriate. That was pretty cool. I felt like onto the Taker thing again. They really should have set something up, as we all thought it was going to happen with John Cena and Taker. Let's be honest, nobody wants to see Cena and Taker. At least I don't think a whole lot of people do. I think the appropriate match for Cena and Taker is, I'm sorry, the appropriate match for Taker is going to be Sting. Let's do a double retirement match. Call it a day. I think that's, I think that's the only, way to do it. I just don't see any other. I don't see any other option. I feel like that's the only way to do it. I think that I think this year's WrestleMania probably has the potential, could have the potential to be a really, really, really good WrestleMania. I really feel like that. With possibly Daniel Bryan, possibly working Shane McMahon, possibly. We know that, you know, most of the, I think all the doctors he deals with cleared him. The only doctors that haven't are WWE doctors. Somebody, correct me if I don't know what the heck I'm talking about, which is completely possible. I'm not saying it's not. Um, I don't know. I just, the possibility with Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon. You got Batista possibly coming back at the Rumble. Let's go and talk about that. You got Batista possibly coming back at the Rumble. Goldberg might make an appearance at the Rumble. Taker probably make an appearance at the Rumble. Possibly Bobby Lashley. Possibly EC3 from Impact. It could be a star-studded Rumble. Now, again, I think every year I've watched the Rumble, at least for the past, 10 years, 15 years maybe. And you keep waiting for that, that legend to come out, or that unknown, that mystery person to come out, and I take that back. AJ Styles, I legit got excited for when he came out. I was shocked, legit shocked. I purposely didn't read anything on the internet leading up to that, so when he came out, I was legit surprised, and it was pretty cool. Um, you know, they have. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so we got all those. We got all those different people possibly coming into Royal Rumble, which we know Royal Rumble is the setup for Mania. That's usually they kind of start doing angles beforehand, which I mean they kind of have. They've kind of touched on Bryan and Shane McMahon.